Dr. Evil here.
Captain Paul, what's going on?
All right. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world, and I know that we live in a world that believes that only men are violent, murderous, scumbags, right? But I saw this story, and I'm just like, whoa, this story definitely threw me for a goddamn loop. Apparently, a woman didn't want to get a baby the old-fashioned way, Captain Paul. Jury finds Texas woman guilty of killing pregnant woman to take her unborn child. And it's crazy because it is not the first story of its kind that I've heard. And the thing is, those that know the Bible, right? There's that infamous or famous story of King Solomon, right? Where they had a woman that had lost her baby, and another woman was pregnant, and she wanted to claim that the baby was hers. So, we're talking about the infinite wisdom of King Solomon.
Right.
And it's like, well, I'm going to find out who the real mother is, not by DNA testing, because they didn't have that back then, apparently. I'm going to propose that we cut this baby in half and just half a baby for you, half a baby for you. And one of the women was like, hell yeah, let's do it. And the other woman was like, well, I'd rather give up the baby and then have it die. Because, of course, I want the baby to live. And that's how King Solomon was able to determine that the woman that was ready to sacrifice her right to her child was the real mother. In modern day, you still got chicks trying to take other women's babies, but there is no King Solomon. And they're like, well, skip the judge, skip the king. I'll just kill this pregnant woman right here and now. And a Texas jury, in their infinite wisdom, said, you're guilty of capital murder.
I mean, this is wild, bro. Like, absolutely, like, murdering someone to take their child? Like that, there's so many other ways to get your own child you could have done. Like, so many different ways, but get into the story.
A woman in Bowie County, Texas, has been found guilty of murder and capital murder for killing a pregnant woman and taking her unborn baby, who also died. In October 2020, court records show the jury found Taylor Renee Parker guilty after about an hour of deliberation. They're like, listen, we got to go eat lunch. All right, put her in the gas chamber right now. Parker had told her boyfriend and others that she was pregnant, held a gender reveal party, and on October 9, 2020, said she was going to a hospital in Idabel, Oklahoma, to pre-register for labor, according to the probable cause affidavit. That same morning, police in New Boston, Texas, west of Texarkana, received a 911 call from a woman who reported someone had killed her daughter. Responding officers found the victim, who had been 34 weeks pregnant, with a large cut along her abdomen, as if this is Game of Thrones. I mean, what the fuck? And the baby no longer inside. I mean, you want to talk about fucking heinous?
Bro, that is some
fuck,
that is some Mortal Kombat shit. Like, get over here! Like, that's my child now. Like, what the fuck? Was she like fucking speed running or something? She was speed running pregnancy, bro. She was speed running pregnancy. Didn't have to do any of the hard work, right? Where you're pushing out the child. She's just like, nah. I'm just gonna cut this freaking shit out. I'm gonna cut this little baby out and take him out. That's wild, man. Like, my God, that's crazy.
And when you think about it, right? She lied about the pregnancy. Yo, can't you just let your boyfriend, you got a boyfriend, let him hit it from the back and splash off. You'll have a baby.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that would make the most sense, but she wanted to really go for a speed run challenge. Dude, it makes no sense why she would do this. Like, you could literally just lay on your back and take it and get pregnant. Like, this is stupid.
State troopers conducted a traffic stop of a car that morning, during which they found Parker holding a baby in her lap and, quote, the umbilical cord was connected to the infant, which appeared to be coming out of the female's pants as if she gave birth. You gotta be out your motherfucking mind.
Like, did she think that people would just buy that story?
Yeah, that she was she admitted to being in a physical altercation with the pregnant victim.
That's wild.
Okay, so I mean,
Dude, I have absolutely no words for this. This is so peculiar. Like, think about it. She literally cut some baby out some woman's body that she killed. Is like, nah, you know what? I gotta really sell this. Stuck the umbilical cord up her cooch. It's like, oh yeah, this is normal. This is absolutely normal. Like, yo, like it's just so weird, bro. And like, how did you think the baby was gonna survive? Like, if the baby got to the hospital immediately, maybe a chance. But like, when you just give a friggin' a rough C-section, like, you don't know what you're doing. You could have probably harmed the baby on the way out.
The baby died.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the baby's dead because of those actions. It's like, I don't understand. Like, she probably wanted to get pregnant, right? But yo, just lay on your back and take it and call it a day. Like, it's just there's obviously something like
Dude,
like not registered.
Dude, face down, ass up.
That's the way we like to fuck. But like, yeah, like, yo, I just kind of saying, I don't know. I can't really rationalize this. I think this person just be like, this is one of those people bullet in the back of the head situations. Got to go back to it. Listen, we're all about gender equality here on the TSP show. So if I'm saying that for a man, I'm saying that for a female. That's heinous, a disgusting act. Like, no, should not be in any type of living capacity after this. She literally killed 2 people. No.
Well, I mean, I think that is pretty much one of those cold truths, but let me coax a hot take out of you. Mm-hmm. Okay? Have you noticed how many murder charges she was convicted of?
No, actually, let me read. There's one capital, right?
Let's go back. She has been found guilty of murder and capital murder.
Wow. That's crazy.
So how many murder charges?
2.
How many born people?
1. 2. Because, yeah, listen, and this is where liberals will probably get excited or get upset. It's a late-term abortion, but I don't know. I just think that's kind of crazy. I mean, that's a whole different discussion. She's in Texas. I think yeah, I mean, it's 2 human lives that were get snuffed out. That's wild.
Now, do you see where there might be a little bit of a conflict of ideology? Because I don't think that any reasonable liberal would have a problem with her catching a murder charge for the unborn that was killed, right?
Oh, we going with the hot take. I see where this is going.
I told you I was going to bait you. I told you I was going to bait you.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm with you, man. You know my stance on this. I'm not for abortion. I don't believe it's the correct thing to do. If you don't want to get pregnant, don't lay on your back and spread it. Like, quite frankly, or use protection, birth control. There's so many different avenues to prevent it. Like, yeah, it's a human life. That's like full stop. That's what it is. It's a human life. So, you know, in a case like that, yeah, that's definitely 2 murder charges. And like, I feel like obviously one murder's horrific enough, but you like literally you snuffed out a life before it even had a chance to exist. You know what I mean? And that's the shame in this whole situation.
Well, you know, I can't let you off that easy, right? Mm-hmm. This begs this just begs the question: is an unborn child a human life
Yes.
based on whether or not the woman wants it to survive?
Well,
So there's a murder charge because the woman wanted to keep the pregnancy, right?
yeah.
Still
No,
unborn, right? Right? Do you see where I'm going with this?
No, I see where you're going with it, but I think the problem is that it kind of comes down to each person's kind of rationalization of their behavior, right? Like, so liberals and liberal type women rationalize them kind of getting abortion, saying it's my choice, my body. Oh, I wasn't ready for a baby. I wasn't this. Like, listen, I've heard the whole gamut. I've even had some people that I know of get those procedures done. I don't really agree with it ethically, right? I just don't. I think that when you do that act, and, you know, unless you're a fucking idiot and you didn't, like, I'm sorry, at 16, 15, 14, you kind of have a general idea. Like, oh, this is how you create children, right? Like, you know, when you do that act, there's that risk of getting pregnant. And it's like, I feel like if you are not in a responsible or even a fiscally responsible situation to have a child, well, maybe you shouldn't be fucking around. And you definitely shouldn't be fucking around if you don't have protection on or using some type of birth control. So, I mean, like, the cold hard truth of this is that it kind of goes and proves, like, yeah, it's a human life. I mean, and the weirdest argument I have, not to make this into an abortion video, but the weirdest, and they don't really have a response to this. So, like, how is it not a human life when, like, 9 months later, 10 months later, depending on the pregnancy, that a human being gets formed from it? You know what I mean? Oh, it's just a bunch of cells, but from those cells is what forms a human being. Like, we're all a bunch of cells. Like, I think that's such a piss poor argument. But,
Well,
I mean,
that's where but this is the point that I'm making, right? Mm-hmm. Is the difference between a prenatal termination and murder, is the difference between the two whether or not the woman wants to keep the child. Yes. Because you're saying that if it's unborn, if you're telling me unborn is not a person, then you can't, in good faith, deliver another murder charge because technically, is according to your ideology, is not a person, right? You remember the Scott Peterson thing, right? Where he killed his pregnant wife?
Yep.
Right? They put him on death row. They've since commuted that to life in prison. But they put him on death row, and he hit him with 2 murder charges. Right? Now, I'm just following the logic here. If you're telling me that that an unborn baby is not a human, then you can't. Can you legally and or just from the ideological standpoint, would it make sense to call that a murder if you don't believe that unborn children are people? I mean, that is. I mean, that's the point that I was making. That's the question that I'm asking.
No, but that's a very valid point. But like a place like Texas, obviously, more red, more common sense when it comes to birth stuff. Like, yeah, absolutely. But I think depending on the state, like a state like yours in New York where they're godless, I could see that kind of.
Oh, the hot take. I got them, folks. I got them.
Like New York where they're godless, up here in the Northeast where, women have penises. Like, I could literally see that. I could literally see that being like, oh, no, it's not a murder because it's not a life. So, I mean, I definitely could kind of see that take.
So again, like I'm not, trying to antagonize anybody on the left or the right with this line of questioning, but I want to ask you in the comments section down below, do you believe that it is proper for this woman to be convicted of 2 different murder charges? If you do, please give your reasoning below. If you think that she should have only gotten 1 murder charge, also, please let us know down below. Any other opinions that you have, including whether or not you think that we're just total assholes that should be kicked off of YouTube. Yep. Also, make sure you leave a dislike and comment that down below. Obviously, you came here because we are the home of the cold truth and definitely the hot takes. So make sure you come on back and make sure that you get notifications that we're back with another video by subscribing to our channel. Make sure that you share this with your friends so that whether you like us or not, you guys can talk to your friends about how much you love or hate us. And hit the like or the dislike button for the algorithm because we're trying to make it out here. We're trying to make it out here on YouTube. So we'll catch you in the next one. I'm Dr. Evil.
I'm Captain Paul.
And we the fuck up out of here.
Peace.